Joe Biden gave a speech at a Veterans Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery and decided to try to invoke the memory of Satchel Paige.
Attitude of the great Negro at the time, pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros, into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson. His name was Satchel Paige.
All right, so there you go. So now look, obviously Fox News having fun with this.
I think he misread the teleprompter. I think the teleprompter actually was supposed to say Satchel Paige by Negro.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Look, I mean, obviously you have, right-wing media is making hay over this. And Russell, you texted me when we were talking about doing this that, we don't want to be dishonest and pile on and act like this was some majorly revealing, sort of Freudian slip of his,
no, he's made plenty of those, but this wasn't one of them.
Yeah,
the black parents don't know what to do and they need help. That was him saying out loud his inherently condescending attitude towards black people that he thinks is a liberal viewpoint. That's basically, he's, the way I describe him, Joe Biden is what would have been considered liberal in a VFW hall in 1972. Right. Like when he says things like that, he thinks he's being liberal.
Yeah, I mean, and
because it's that very paternalistic. Yes, we're going to reach out and help you because you're uncivilized and you don't know how to raise your children. Like that's really something that's in there. This, it's a slip of the tongue, obviously.
Yeah, it's a slip of the tongue.
He's reading off a teleprompter. Like he's so mentally addled, he obviously can't read the words on the teleprompter, so he fucked them up.
Look, I think it's a combination of just, yes, being mentally addled and also, the fact that you're now getting older and your mind has started to go a little bit. Some of those speech impediments that maybe you had earlier in life are more aggravated now. There could have been a bit of a stutter action there, you don't know. But the point is, it's not that this is some terribly revealing gaffe.
No,
it's just this, but this is the kind of thing where you talk about when your poll numbers are sliding and stuff like that. This is why it's very tough for a politician like Joe Biden to dig his way out of negative momentum, because you can't, if you're his chief of staff, you can't come up to him and say, hey, Mr. President, I think our poll numbers are really lagging. Things are really turning against us. I think it's time that we address the nation on TV for an hour.
They've tried that and it keeps backfiring.
Right. What can you do? And also, I would just say, if I were in that room, if I were coaching him, listen, if you have a lifelong history of racially insensitive remarks, as well as a lifelong history of gaffes, add on to that a speech impediment that goes back to when you were a young boy, and now the fact that your mind is not functional enough to cover that speech impediment up any further, add all of those things together, and there are certain topics you may just want to steer clear of, and one of those would be Negro League baseball. It's too risky, it's too dangerous. If you're Mel Gibson and you have to give a speech to AFI or something, you're receiving some fucking, lifetime achievement award. Don't get drunk before you go on stage and then try to quote Merchant of Venice. You know what I mean? Just don't. It's too dangerous. It's too risky. It's not that maybe you don't mean it, right? Maybe it's not anything maybe, your heart may not be in the wrong place, but just that's the kind of thing where I think we need to go a different direction.
Yeah. Well, they have clearly been trying to do that. You're right, because he's obviously reading off a teleprompter. I guess they felt like what could go wrong. And to be fair, it didn't go wrong. People are being, really dishonest about this. It's very obvious this wasn't a Bidenism. This wasn't, you know what? They were segregationists, but we got things done, damn it.
Right.
This wasn't one of those. But they have been doing that. That's why you haven't heard a racially insensitive gaffe out of Biden pretty much since he's been president. Like, I don't remember any of those post campaign
Right,
because
right,
his
right.
staff is keeping a very tight clamp on when he speaks and what he speaks about. I think they've actually done exactly what you're suggesting. I think in this case they just thought, it's going to be on a teleprompter at Satchel Paige. What could happen?
Right. It's all American. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
It's
are there
baseball, you know.
right. Like, look, we can't just have him never talk about black people. So Satchel
Right. Satchel
Page,
Paige. Right.
and
Exactly.
what could go wrong with Satchel Page?
Yeah.
There are no atheists on the Biden team when Biden's in the middle of a speech.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe wherever you saw it, on YouTube, on Rumble, or on Facebook. We have channels on all three of those platforms. Also, consider helping us create more content by becoming a member at patreon.com/do dissidents, or on Facebook, where you can become a supporter right through our Facebook page and get bonus content every week, as well as call-in access to our live stream shows. Thank you very much for your continued support.